Good day, doctors, and welcome back to On Point Dry Needling, coming to you live from Dripping Springs, Texas, gateway to the hill country, some 10 miles due west of Austin, Texas. Anyway, I want to thank you for coming back and visiting this short, brief video instruction. You might say that I'm putting the cart before the horse, in that I'm just going to demonstrate the needling procedure. And we actually have a 40-minute, give or take, on the actual needle itself as part of the online 5-hour online program that you'll see in much greater detail. But I just want to give you an idea about the ease of needling. Once you get it down, it's probably the easiest part of the whole weekend. So to consider with the needling, first of all, you're going to need a consent form, and we have a consent form that I send to you that you'll give to all of your patients, and you'll experience signing the consent form in the class, because everybody has to sign it before we proceed. The other thing we want to consider is the contraindications. Like any modality, particularly an invasive one such as this, which is very safe. I don't mean to put fear into this, but it's a very safe modality. But the idea is contraindications are important, such as tendency towards bleeding, hemorrhage, pregnancies, the big three there, metastatic disease, hemorrhage, and pregnancy, all of which, particularly with pregnancies, you try needling and acupuncture all day. Just they say when you're pregnant, everything is contraindicated. I have 7 children, 2 of which we did acupuncture because of 28 and 30 hours of labor, and it worked fantastic. And I've done it on patients as well at the physician's request. So anyway, the needle is not contraindicated. It's just you have to know where not to needle when they're pregnant. The other thing that's important is the positioning of the patient when you're going to needle, not only positioning them, but also your positioning. You want to be in a relaxed, comfortable position, being able to needle without being in any kind of precarious or odd, twisted position, nor do you want your patient in that position. As much as you can, you want them in a supported, sitting, supported in case some people have had a vasovagal reaction. I've had 2 or 3 of them, not me, the patient. And you want them in a supportive position. Twice I had it, and they weren't completely supported. One was actually standing. And it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. So position your patient and have them be sure to be comfortable. And at the same time, so you want to be able to, as much as you can, observe their face when you're needling, because that'll tell you everything. If somebody decides they're going to take a little nap while you're needling them, you'll see the body relax, particularly if they're face down. But otherwise, watch the face as much as you can. With that being said, we're going to take a look at the needle now. And I just happen to have a needle right here in my Texas Cactus needle dispenser. These come in a safe, each one is individually sealed and, chemical free, all that kind of stuff. So they're very safe needles, they're disposable. So when you're done, you're going to put the needle into a dispenser, and only the needle goes into the dispenser. No cotton balls, no Band-Aids, no, alcohol swabs, anything, just the needle goes into the dispenser. Y'all will be getting one of these. You'll share them at a table, a couple of them, to put your needles in after, but everybody will get one of these along with their starter kit of various size needles. So we have the needle, and I think you'll can see this. Take a look. There's a sort of a lavender tab that's parallel to the head of the needle. It's holding it into this cannulus. And now you're wondering to yourself, are you going to needle yourself? And no, I'm not. I'm going to needle this Texas orange. So with that in mind, I'm going to elevate this so that makes certain everybody can see. Oh, there you are. So anyway, we're going to see everybody see. I'm going to use this pillow to support our orange like this. So, and once we find our trigger point, where we're going to needle, we've done all our pre-testing, all the things that we talked about, palpation, range of motion, whatever you've done it. Now, you're going to, and I've done all this before I alcohol swab, not after. So you swab it and then you start poking around. Even though you have your glove on, you want to clean it down. So we found the trigger point. We know basically where we're hunting. Alcohol swab down, and anything other than the needle goes into, we're going to have like a kidney shape or some type of a dispenser, a small plastic dispenser that will keep cotton balls in, Band-Aids, and disposed alcohol. Okay, so at this point, you find your trigger point, your best method of approach with whatever technique we're going to do. And we have a superficial needling, we have a deep needling, and nowhere in between really. So when we do the deep needling, you found your point, you're going to put your needle on, and you're going to put a little bit of pressure onto it. So that right away is not uncomfortable, but it sort of starts firing off the mechanoreceptor potentiation from the skin that says something is there. There's a little pressure. It's not great, it's not comfortable, but it's there. And at that point, you can either take the needle and we're going to twist it, remove the plastic lavender tab there. We're going to have different ways to dispense with that, but I'm just showing you this for visual's sake. And then the needle head is still sticking out with the handle. Tap it in. Just tap it in once is all you really need. And with the pressure on the skin, the needle will stay in just fine. You want to do this, all your approaches should start perpendicular. And then, depending upon what the technique is and where the tissue you want to treat, we're going to have different angles of, once it's inserted, we can pull back and move it to do a 20-degree angle, 45, 90, and so on. But initially, everybody goes in perpendicular, and again, into the kidney dish or the plastic dispenser and not the sharp bin. At this point, when you have the needle, if we're going to do a superficial technique, you're going to put it in about a half a mil and you're going to let it set. And we'll go over that in the class. This is effective, but it's great for people that are sort of leery of the needle, so they get a little taste of it, so to speak, and then you can proceed. For most of the other people, once you're ready to put the needle in for the deep technique, put the needle in. Don't go back and forth like, oh, I don't want to, that's going to hurt them. Be uncomfortable, and you could walk home with a black eye. Maybe not. But anyway, so once you get the needle in, then I'm going to go, if I'm going in like 8 mils, I'm going to go come back halfway and then go in. So it's like half the distance of the way that we went in. And I'm going to funnel, meaning working the needle around like this in a funneling direction, aiming towards that trigger point. I'm hitting tens of thousands of muscle fibrils as I go in through this technique, and I'm just going to spin it around. This is a relatively long needle from what I'm going in for, but you want to spin it around, and we're looking for the twitch. If we get the twitch, you're fine to take it out. If you don't, you can go in for 20 to 30 seconds. They may feel a little discomfort, whatever they're feeling, so be it. Make note of it. And when you're done with the 20, 30 seconds, you pull it out and immediately apply compression. If you have blood there, use the alcohol swab or the cotton ball that you've got handy. Hold it, compress it for 5 seconds, and you should be good to go. Okay, and then once you're done, where does this go? Up over the cactus and down into the sharp bin, which is right there. So only the needle goes into the sharp bin. All right, I appreciate your time, and I hope this was informative. Again, it was the cart before the horse, and there'll be a lot more detail on the actual needle video that you're going to be receiving for those of you that registered for the course. If you have any questions, please call me 603. Don't call me 603. Call the phone number 603-493-8255. 8317, or go to the website www.onpointdryneedling.com, and we'll answer and know all your questions, and we'll look forward to your registry. Remember, we only have 15 to 18 seats in this group, and that's the limit. So thank you for listening, and we'll look forward to the next video that'll be coming out very shortly. Just a short clip, nothing for CEUs just yet.